My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. This is the only channel dedicated to UFC picks and DraftKings lineups run by professional fighters and MMA insiders. Every week, I join Nick Newell, professional fighter, professional model, and ESPN Top 10 guest, along with Dan Kramer, UFC fighter, Bellator fighter, Ultimate Fighter alumni, and Jacob Lyons, a skinny kid from Indiana. And we break down every single fight, the betting odds, the DraftKings picks, and we set you up for success. Tonight, we're breaking down Fight Night Rozenstruik versus Gane. First up at UFC Fight Night Rozenstruik versus Gane, we have Dustin Jacoby versus Maxim Grishin. This should be a pretty decent fight. I actually do think these odds are pretty straightforward, but Jacob, let me go to you. What are your thoughts here in what is essentially striker versus grappler-ish?
Yeah, first of all, you have to point out Jacoby, what a fantastic name that is. I mean, he got it almost all the way right. Added a Y for flair, but, Jacoby, what a great name. When I looked at Jacoby on tape, nothing stands out to me. He's not a great grappler, and he's got a kickboxing record, I think, of 10-8. And if you're an $8,500 fighter in DraftKings, I feel like you need to have something special to your name. And then you look at Grisham, and he's got all the experience in the world for this fight. And $7,700, it seems like a steal to me. He fought Enclave, who's on this card, and a big favorite on this card. And that was actually Enclave's longest fight of his career. Went to the fourth round. He ended up losing, but he fought him tough, man. He seems like a more refined fighter to me. Jacoby seems not quite as technical. He's definitely game to brawl. But in this fight, I think I'm taking Grishin to win. Neither one of them are going to be in my lineup. But I think Grishin can win this fight.
All right, so you're going with the underdog here. You're noting the experience. I mean, he has over 40 fights, which is a ton of experience. There's a bunch of vets in this. Dan, I'm going to throw it to you. Jacob's not touching it for his DraftKings lineup. He's taking the underdog to win. What are your thoughts here?
Jacob, I mean, we're starting off on the wrong foot here. I got to disagree with you. I think, first of all, Jacoby had a long layoff, like 2015, 2019. But since he's come back, he's looked really good. He's 3-0 in his last three fights over the past couple of years. He's only 32 years old, so he's much younger. His kickboxing looked really good his last fight. I guess he won a Glory title. You said his record wasn't that good, but he was good enough in one night to beat, I think, three guys and win a title in Glory. So he also used to fight at heavyweight, so he's not a small light heavyweight. I believe he's now training at Factory X. I think he looks really, really good his last few fights. His leg kicks, he dropped the guy with a leg kick in one of his more recent fights. So I think he's going to be the better overall striker. Grishin's got a lot of experience. He's looked really, really good over the years. But in his most recent fights, he fought at heavyweight, smaller size heavyweight, obviously. But the main thing I saw to him is he's just really a low volume striker. He looks for counters, very patient, almost too patient at times in some fights. And he let fights where I thought, like, if he turned it up, he might have been able to win, just get away from him by kind of not doing much, looking to counter and just kind of getting outpointed, held against the cage. So, I think Jacoby is going to be the younger, better striker, a little bit more athletic. He's looked better lately. So I'm taking him. I'm putting him in my DraftKings lineup at $8,500. I think worst case scenario, it's going to be a striking match. And I think Jacoby's going to be the more aggressive of the two.
Yeah, I'm with you. I agree with all of that. He is in my DraftKings lineup. This is an interesting card for lineups because there's a lot of heavy favorites that are very expensive, then some legit underdogs that are somewhat affordable. My biggest note here is that Dustin Jacoby's leg kicks are fantastic. High volume leg kicks, a ton of leg kicks. And essentially, if Maxim Grishin doesn't get the takedown, he's not going to win this fight. And I think those leg kicks are going to keep him away. He's only have to land a few to slow down those takedowns and really get him questioning. So, Nick, you siding with me and Dan, or are you going the underdog in this fight?
I'm going with the underdog in this fight. I think Grisham has a lot of experience. he's fought a lot of good guys. A little note, I followed Dustin Jacoby for a while. So he fought in the UFC before, and he wasn't very successful. He lost a lot. And then he switched to kickboxing, and they kind of brought him in as the MMA guy to lose to glory guys. And it really started off that way. And he started off really weak, but then he started winning all these fights, and he did win that kickboxing Grand Prix. And he has a 10-8 record, but it's deceiving because he lost a lot early and won a lot late. I mean, if you look at the guys he's fighting, also, they're like the best of the best in kickboxing. So to beat those guys, it really says a lot. So he's improved tenfold since the last time he was in there. He's a tough fight, and I understand why people would kind of believe in him, but I have some picks that I want to throw in. I think Grishin will win. I think his grappling will make the difference in this fight. And I'm putting him in my lineup because I think that he could win with his ground game, and he's just super cheap. And it just makes it easy for me to get in my other picks that I have.
All right. So you're picking him to win. You think he genuinely wins this fight?
I think he could lose, right? He could get outstruck. I think that Jacoby is the better striker. I think that Grishin is good enough to neutralize and get the takedown and win with his ground game.
All right. Well, this will be an interesting one. I think it'll be a fun fight. It's essentially grappler versus striker. And we're 2-2 here. So this will be an interesting one. The cost difference is tremendous. So this may make or break your lineup. And if you're not confident in this pick, I'd avoid it. Before you go, check out the description below. In there, we have links to our Facebook, our Twitter, our Instagram, and more importantly, to our DraftKings League. Check out the league, join the league, participate in the contests, and as we get going and as you start winning, we're going to start handing out gift cards and participating and doing things like that. So check those out. Every week, there are drops on every fight card. So make sure you check out this channel and our social media on Saturday before the fights start so that you have our most updated lineups and picks.